ultimately, Bitcoin, I think, will go to another speculative blow off. And normally that blow off has been about 2 times fair value. So in 18, we got to 20 on a fair value of 10. In 21, we got to 60 on a fair value of 30. And this time, I don't think we do double.
Mark Yusko, the founder of Morgan Creek Capital, has recently shared his bullish sentiments on Bitcoin's future trajectory. He identifies a pair of factors that have the potential to propel the price of Bitcoin to reach new record highs. In a new Kitco News interview, Yusko, drawing from his extensive experience in the financial sector, identified 2 primary catalysts that he believes could propel Bitcoin's price by up to 410%. Bitcoin slipped sharply on Thursday evening, tumbling by as much as 9% to just over $26,000. According to Coinmetrics data, the cryptocurrency last traded at $26,457, reflecting a decline of more than 8%. During the interview, Yusko stated that the current fair value of Bitcoin is approximately $55,000, highlighting that the present price of around $29,000 doesn't necessarily reflect its true value. He also noted that while fair value could hit $100,000 post-halving, market trends often deviate from it due to human emotions. Some believe a breakout is around the corner, with October currently a popular deadline for the Bitcoin bull market to return. One of the latest calls for 6-figure Bitcoin comes from Robert Kiyosaki, author of the popular book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, who this week doubled down on his BTC price prediction. Meanwhile, historical analysis shows that most of Bitcoin's cycle gains occur post-halving rather than in the run-up to one. Trading team Stock Money Lizards revealed this month after the past 3 halvings, it took a maximum of 240 days for Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high. Let's direct our attention towards the video.
Technically, I did say 150K, which is 410%, but that's not my base case. That was my blow-off case. But Tom Lee came out yesterday and doubled down on his base case being 150K. But look, the math is simple to me, and I'm a math guy, so I like math, and I even have the hashtag just math, right? So the fair value of a network is very determinable. We've talked about this before. I can jot out a Metcalfe's law model, and I can come up with a fair value for any network, whether that's a computer network or telecommunications network or the Bitcoin network. And that fair value number has been very consistent over the years. It's got a little bit of wiggle around crises, but it's been pretty consistent. And today that number hangs out around 55K. I've talked to Tim Peterson, who I think has the best Metcalfe's law model at N Squared Crypto. And in a time like now where the price, which remember price is a liar, has nothing to do with the value of anything. It's just the price that 2 people will exchange a small amount. And the price today is hovering around that 29,000 level. That's materially less than 55. Well, then if another thing happens, we're in crypto summer. What's crypto summer? It's just the period right before the halving. And then we go to crypto fall right after the halving. And what do those mean? Well, 4-year cycle. Why it's a 4-year cycle? Because it's baked into the code for the halving. And human beings go from greed to fear over these market cycles. Like in stocks, it used to run on about a 7-year cycle with the business cycle. Then the Fed kind of messed that up with QE, and now it's more like 11, 12-year cycle. But bottom line is cycles are human emotions, fear and greed. And when the price is below fair value, people like me accumulate. I'm an investor. I mean, people like me. I'm not saying that's smart or dumb. It's just I like buying things below fair value. I think that's a smart way to do things generally. And so investors will accumulate. Well, as we approach the halving, something happens. That fair value number is essentially going to double. Well, why is that? How can that be? Well, the halving is this ingenious construct that cuts the block rewards that are paid to the miners to secure the network. Well, if you think about it, the miners' costs are fixed. Electricity, power, electricity, and their machines. If the price didn't change and your block rewards get cut in half, you're basically out of business. So it inherently moves the price higher, and that's what we have seen every halving. And every halving between the 4-year cycle has added a zero. Went from 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000. The last cycle, I think fair value jumps to 100,000, right post halving. But that's fair value. What we know about markets is they don't stay on fair value. They get way below when people are fearful, and they get way above when people are greedy. So as the investors get their fill of buying all the way up to that $100,000 level, then the traders come in. And traders don't give a crap, a technical term, about fair value.
In an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box, Fundstrat's managing partner and head of research, Tom Lee, predicted that a bundle of successful Bitcoin spot ETF applications would shift Bitcoin's supply-demand dynamics towards considerable price appreciation. The United States currently makes up 97.7% of the global trading volume for crypto-related ETFs, according to Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balchunas. Once spot Bitcoin ETFs are approved, this could go to 99.5%, he said. Recently, Bitcoin is trading at 26,457. A move to Yusko's upper range target suggests a 410% rise for Bitcoin from its current price. Yusko also says that U.S. financial advisors using ETFs control $30 trillion, and an allocation of 1% to Bitcoin would have a huge impact on Bitcoin. John Reed Stark, a former SEC chief, anticipates that the current SEC might not approve the recent Bitcoin spot ETF applications. Yusko suggests that approval for both BlackRock and Bitwise would be ideal, with the initial approval potentially setting the tone for the future. However, it seems that BlackRock holds a stronger position and might secure approval ahead of others.
The fair value of 55K, which is what we'll march toward by the halving. Right? We'll march toward fair value. Then fair value will change on the halving event, and that pushes it to 100. So 100 has nothing to do with the ETF. Now, what the ETF has the potential to do, and I totally agree with Tom, it has the potential to really mess up the supply-demand dynamic, because you're talking about a $550 billion asset, right? And so an ETF, when the ETF is approved, and I'll give it 50-50 chance on October 17th. So on October 16th, they will deny or push the Bitwise application, the same way they pushed Kathy's application on Monday, right? And we're investors in both, right? We own a little piece of Amun and we own a little piece of Bitwise, and I wish both of them would get approved, because the first one that gets approved gets everything.
The AUM.
It's the victor takes the spoils. So I wish one of them would get approved, but it's not going to happen. BlackRock will get approved, and they're going to be first. So October 17th, they're third in line. Could they get approved on? Yeah, 50-50. More likely, they push them 90 days into 2024, and it gets approved either in January, or they might push it another 90 days and get it right around the halving.
Optics would be so crazy if they approve the day after rejecting Bitwise. So I agree with you that it probably likely gets pushed for that very reason.
Yeah. But look, those people don't care about how things look in optics. They're like, we are manipulating this process. We aren't going to do it the way it should be, which is whoever put in first should get it. We've decided the winner. We're the kingmaker, even though that's not their job, actually. But let's talk about this. So you got a $550 billion asset. When the BlackRock ETF is approved, that basically opens up 30 trillion-ish. And this is from Eric Balchunas, who did the analysis, and I agree with him. 30 trillion of assets under advisors' and RIAs that right now are prohibited from owning the asset.
The Bitcoin market is closely eyeing two pivotal events that have the potential to propel prices to $150,000 by mid-next year. The approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF, coupled with the upcoming Bitcoin halving, is expected to spark a fresh rally, considerably elevating Bitcoin's fair value. It's speculated that the initial approval from the SEC for a Bitcoin ETF is more likely to be granted to the BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF. This concludes our discussion for today. We encourage you to share your views in the comments section. If you found this content informative, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for the most up-to-date news and videos. Thanks for joining us.